Not that tall.
For always
I'm always afraid I'm gonna let go.
All right, so call this meeting to order with the Pledge of Allegiance. Please stand. I
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
read online. Screen off.
No.
All right, adjustments to the agenda.
We're starting 10 minutes late.
We are. It's a good start. I need to add a second executive session. We actually have two tonight, not one. It's for the same one MRSA 4056A. Any other agenda adjustments?
Unless you're having a chimney on.
Not tonight.
Okay.
You got enough to go through tonight.
Okay.
Excuse me. Go to our approval of the minutes from our regular meeting on April 24th. I have a motion to approve the minutes from the 24th. I have a motion in a second. All those in favor? One abstain?
Yes. Christine abstain? Yes.
Old business, ACO vest.
We had been chatting before about the ACO vest that might be interested. When I reached out to Livermore, they had said half of the original purchase price, but that if you look at the contract, which I had shared a while ago, it said minus depreciation. And when I asked about that, they still said half a purchase price. Well, she did, I just kind of left it alone. She did reach out to me this week and ask what the board had decided. I don't believe Eric's interested anymore. So I don't know if we want to buy them out, if we want to see if they'll buy us out, or we're just gonna leave it alone and.
I'd say they can keep it, but
Yep,
that's just
that
my
works for
opinion. If Eric doesn't want it, I'm not really interested in it, honestly. Cause it's one of those things that's usually fitted to the person anyways, or to a certain size person, so it's not like it's something that's easy to.
Right.
Get for somebody, and I know the last time when that was purchased, it was recommended us not going with another town anyways, just because then. It was owned by us,
This problem.
right, so I guess. It's up to the group, but my thought is just let them keep it. And
Second
go from there.
Okay, I'll just let her know. That's all I need to get out of that. He passes down to Sean.
I can do that. And on that note. Dave.
Yeah. Here we go. As we all know,
Buckle up.
the sewer plant's 40 years old. And that's, right now in the main pump station, there's two pumps. But number two pumps down right now, hasn't been used for 2 months. The blue is leaking. And bad and needs to be replaced. And the rotating assembly should be replaced, 40 years old.
Mhm.
And on number one pump, we put a new rotating assembly in last year. but we still got an old balloon. And it's the same age as the other one, and that's gonna start leaking too. And what I found out today from Stevens Electric. If we order the balloons tomorrow, it's at least 3 months or more. So I've already got one pump in that station, been down for 2 months already. I've been trying to get this organized so we can get it going. And finally, they found a place out in the Midwest, Fairbanks and more somewhere out there.
Oh.
They, I guess, when we order them, they gotta build it.
Okay,
And I can't see just doing one. If that's gotta be specially made,
Wow.
might as well get the other one, because they're both the same age. You know what I mean?
yep. If one's already failed, the other one won't be far behind,
Yeah, that's
unfortunately.
right. And we do, one thing good about it, we put the balloon on the other one there, it's already got a new rotating assembly from last year. So that's a big piece of change,
Mhm.
so that won't be too bad. I think to put a new balloon in for that side is something like $6,641. To change that out, new balloon, we already got a rotating assembly, we're good. But on the other one that's down. They put a new balloon in there. Rotating assembly, and of course, this is all labor included,
Mhm.
it's $36,635. So we're
36,
talking at around 43,000.
what was it again, 36?
36,635.14.
Okay,
You all have that in your packets.
We don't have the second part.
Yes, yeah, you do, it's in the second paragraph.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And I think, especially with these balloons, you just can't go buy them off the shelf. That's specially made, I mean. It's a big deal. Yeah. Oh, Sean, really?
Oh, I'm gonna take,
yeah, go for it.
Hang on. Hello, John.
Hey, how are you?
Good, I met a selectmen's meeting, did you want to talk to him, anybody? Not unless you don't want to, okay. I think I'm kind of answering mostly what they need to know for now, but yeah,
So can you give me a call after that?
I'll give you a call later, okay, yeah, thanks, bye.
good timing.
He's been working on, it's like, channels there to see if there was any grant money available, but like, first thing they say, guys aren't bucking your rates or keeping up.
Mhm.
That's why they went up 122% in Rumford.
Yeah.
Because they already told them, if you want more money through grants. You gotta put it to the people, right? The rates gotta go up. To me, I kinda think it's a little goofy, but
Yeah.
that's the way it is.
Mhm.
That's what they're telling us, you know.
Mm.
So total, we're looking at what, about 43,000?
Oh, 43,
43, yep. But that's gonna get us the 2 new balloons, we'll have 2 new rotating assemblies in. And we're done, and that's 40-year-old stuff.
Yep.
It's worn out. We can't, and you can't stop sewer, you can't stop it.
You don't want to.
it slows down,
No,
yeah.
we don't want to, it'll be back up, but it gives you an idea here, I mean, I don't know, I mean. I did get a thing here from, if you'd like to have it, you can have it, but it is the proposal from Stevens Electric.
Yeah,
On the way,
yeah.
you got it, okay,
Yeah.
yeah, you got it, all right.
We did not get that email that you said we were getting today from
Oh, from the water guy, yeah, from the, we gotta have
Paul Prescott.
we gotta have the wells, tested this year.
Okay, I
Send
didn't
our
know that had
license.
anything to do with
Yeah, he
it.
said he'd get back to us, yeah,
How much is that little go around?
we're trying to find out. Clearwater Lab usually does it on
Yeah.
Newport, but they're not doing it because
Yeah,
can't
they're
get the
not doing
help.
it anymore.
So they got another guy they give you a number to call, I talked to him this morning. He said he'd email him up when he give us a proposal, yeah, I don't think it's that bad, yeah. But,
Yeah.
So it's not 36,000?
no, it's nothing like that.
Yeah, so we're looking at 43,276.39.
So of course, that includes all of the labor too and everything.
Right,
Of
yeah,
course, and all that stuff has to come out the top of the building with it, it's gotta have that big overhead crane, you know, to bring it up and out,
yeah,
35 feet down. Yeah, well, you've looked down there before, you know,
yeah.
yeah,
So.
So-
That won't go down.
yeah. It's just, it's caught up with us, I guess, I never thought. I knew that rotating assembly, what the heck, which it did last year, one of them, but I never thought I'd see a balloon leak, you know,
Yeah.
the big things. What it really is, just to explain to you, you got a big electric motor, okay? That comes down onto a rotating assembly. And on the bottom of that rotating assembly, there's a big impeller
Mhm.
that sits down in that volute and bolted.
Okay,
So the water comes in from the wet well, goes up like this, it goes into that volute, the motor starts up. That volute, that impeller starts turning inside that volute, that's your pump. And that's pumping it through the pipe out the building.
yeah,
That's the way it goes.
okay,
Yeah, and them, impellers are very expensive, that's why that rotating assembly, the
Yeah.
whole works is so much money. Yeah,
That's the giant hole.
That's what he's got down there, that's a volute on the bottom. It has
Right.
an impeller in there.
Yeah.
What he's calling the rotating assembly is the motor and the drive.
it's the heart of the whole deal, really.
yeah,
Yeah,
But
yeah, no, that
see,
makes sense.
he's got written on here, changing the elbow also, the elbow.
yeah, the elbows
over
and stuff.
here.
Yeah,
Um. I'm gonna make a motion to do the whole
we got
$43,000.
it.
I don't think we have a choice.
no,
But I don't think
It's just gonna
that's
be a matter of how we're gonna fund it, but
with another elbow. So,
Oh, he's gonna, the pipe coming in and the elbow, they're gonna replace that because you don't dare do it without it, because
is
it's
that
got the same
include
age.
changing both elbows?
Yes, oh yeah,
You
he
sure?
wouldn't, yeah. I'm quite sure, yeah,
Well,
I
that-
talked to him about it, yeah. Yeah,
we should probably still would say up to,
I'd say up to 45.
that's what I was just gonna say, yeah.
Yeah.
So you make the motion, I'll second.
I'll make a motion to spend up to $45,000 to replace one complete pump assembly and one volute.
I second it now, where are we getting the money from?
discussion is, where's the money coming from?
yeah,
We don't have any choice, I mean,
So this is my thought, we have roughly 11-ish thousand. In the sinking fund. We use the sinking fund, what's in it, and then we take the rest out of undesignated fund. The board uses Article 10 or whatever it is from town meeting that gives us the authority to use out of. Undesignated fund in case of emergency, and then we'll look at. The discussion that we had with Mark in terms of, do we work something out with a payback from the department to that fund?
My question was using that sinking fund, Brian, what are we gonna pay for his upcoming test with?
I agree,
Should we leave the sinking fund alone
we could,
and take it all?
just do it all at once,
I would
yeah,
prefer to do
we
it
can do it that
that way.
way, that's fine.
Just because we don't know what else is coming around the
Yeah,
corner.
no, I'm okay with that.
yeah, it's, you figure this, everything's 40 years old now,
Yeah.
look, at we've had in the past.
Mhm.
Plug out last year, a couple of years before that, Vernon Street break, right?
Yeah,
I mean, it just,
it's that time.
it's probably gonna keep going, I mean, I hope not, I thought we was gonna have an easy year. But this come up, you know,
Can we use that sinking fund for things like tests and? if
Yes.
we need
Yes, yep,
Maintenance on that truck, stuff like that.
we used it we used it to pay for that plug up last year,
yes, it's 13 grand on it for the
yes.
vortex,
Yeah,
He's obviously gonna need work on that truck.
yeah, well, and
I don't think so,
we've used
yeah.
it before for the year that we had to do the big test, the big 10,000 or
The
whatever. all it was.
toxicity one, yeah,
Yeah, the year that we had to do that
Yeah.
test twice, we used it for that, and,
that's not gonna be due, well, they gotta do it 28 prior year to license renewal, so you still got 3 years,
yeah,
well, that's coming up.
that's good.
That'll have to be in the budget.
Alright, so I have a motion and a second, to take up to 45,000. Out of undesignated fund balance. For the sewer pump repair. All those in favor? Opposed? Okay. Tricia, you got that?
So let me ask you this now,
Avoid,
can I make a phone call tomorrow? Tim
yes,
Stevens and see
Yes.
if we can start this ball rolling?
Yeah, my
Because we're looking at
recommendation,
least,
yeah,
he said probably, if they got at least 3 months, he said they gotta make it.
yeah,
Yeah.
no, my recommendation would be as soon as we can get the word to them,
Mhm.
and
Yeah,
if there's, it doesn't say on here, but if there's. A deposit that's needed, let us know and we can get the check moving as soon as we can to make sure that
Yeah,
that doesn't hold anything up.
okay, he hasn't said anything about it,
so now I have a question.
Yeah.
If it's 3 months out, what happens if number one goes bye-bye?
You shouldn't say things like that.
I know that,
Well,
but
this is the good thing. The number two pump is shut off because it's leaking bad, right? But I can open that up and reprime it, bleed it out, and it will pump. If we had to use it, we could,
Oh,
but I'll have to
Okay.
get my high boots on. Because that stuff, when it leaks, it starts caking in there like
Right.
pancakes. And it's not good, I tell you.
no.
Yeah.
But I mean, if.
If we, right now, we could,
Okay,
yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, even though I say we only got one pump,
In an emergency.
if I have to, yes.
Yeah,
okay,
It'd be cheaper than Vortex,
yeah.
okay.
even if I gotta go down there with a hose and clean it up. It's pretty bad, I'll tell you, when it starts. doing that.
Yeah, no, that's,
So we still got,
Yeah.
we're not, you know,
Okay.
we're not, yeah, we still got a backup with the leaky pump that,
yeah,
We still got a backup to avoid backup?
yeah. I just hope that other one that was rotating the subway, it was been running on its own for 2 months.
Yeah,
I just hoping that holds up good. It's got a new
Yeah.
color on it and everything, so
mhm,
I'm hoping can hold on for, I mean, keep us going until we get the other one in, you know, and running.
yeah,
Yeah.
Problem being is that one's running twice as much.
exactly.
exactly.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, yeah, it's
You know,
twice the work.
before they were rotating back and forth every two,
Yeah.
3 times, and the other one started up every 2, 3 times.
Now,
This one's doing all the work. Yep.
for my clarification, you guys are sure that doesn't have to go to town vote?
Because of doing it through article, I can't remember the number, I
Yeah,
believe it's article 10. It used to be article 10, I don't know if it still is, but the selectmen have the authority to pull out of undesignated as needed.
Yeah.
In the case of emergency.
I don't remember, but
Isn't that-
years ago, they told me that,
Undesignated? Oh, what?
years ago, they had to borrow money from
How
the
much
town,
is in
something to
that
do
now?
with sewer, I don't know what it was.
Yeah,
Yeah, it is an article. We vote on it every day.
Yeah, how much is in that account?
I can give you the 23 number, but I don't have the 24 draft yet.
Right.
The 23 number I had, but like I say, I don't have 24's draft at this point.
it's 1 point. something, it's not more.
You're not fighting winter
It was over.
in any respect in getting these repairs done, are you?
Hey, what?
Are you,
No.
do you have any concerns about getting the repairs done before winter?
Oh, I hope we do.
I hope we do too.
So this is
but-
what, we're into May, I'll say June, July, August, I'm hoping by September, we're gonna have this going. In Britain, they'll get this stuff in and get it done. Oh, absolutely, I hope so,
Okay,
yes. I'd like to see this done by September, but then again, these things are all cast iron molds they gotta make, you know? But the problem is, most of the balloons that you see in places, they're not as big as these two down here. Because I think the reason these were bigger, because of the volume it has to push that far up into that number one lagoon.
Yeah.
It's probably pushing it, I'm estimated half a mile, it's probably 3/4 of a mile,
Yeah,
right from the pump station up to
Yeah,
number one
you're-
lagoon.
uphill too.
Oh, yeah. But, yeah, it looks like to me, I wish we could get it by summer anyways, or early fall.
Well, maybe they gave us, the worst case scenario time wise. I can be optimistic.
Yeah.
just not something you wanna be playing with in November.
No,
Oh, no.
not something I wanna be playing with here, but.
Over $1 million on 23's
Yeah.
audit. So, like I say, I don't have the 24, but that's what was in. And I know we added to that in 24 as well.
Yes.
So,
And everything that has to come up hard in there is all has to be done with a grinder. All the bolts have to be cut off, all the base has to be cut off, everything. It's
Yeah.
time consuming and labor intense there.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So. That's my story, but I guess we gotta stick to it, I guess.
yeah.
I mean, but you
One of
gotta
those things you
realize, I
gotta
look
do.
at it this way, it's 40 years, you know, so.
Yeah,
It was 5 years old when I started, but. I can't believe it's been 40 now, I mean, you know,
yeah.
yeah. Yeah, I guess they got the best 5 years out of it, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, so give them a shout in the morning and tell them to keep going.
Yeah,
Yep, yeah, let them know they can move ahead and we'll,
yeah, I'll give him a call in the morning and,
yep,
talk
find
to
out
him,
if
tell
they
him
need
everything's
response.
okay.
Yeah,
And he even said even if you guys had any questions, get him on the phone, if you guys wanna talk to him,
no,
man, you know.
that's,
just find out if they need a deposit
yeah,
or anything and then.
I will ask him that.
Yeah.
yeah,
everything I've ever done with him, he's never
No, no.
has.
Okay,
I don't know.
This is
Yeah.
a little larger chunk than.
That's a big chunk of money, yeah.
yeah,
Does he just need a signature on the proposal? Yeah, there's a signature line.
yeah,
Yeah, oh, yeah.
So, do you have the original proposal?
I've got one of them that he wrote up.
They're all the same.
They're all
I
the
know, but
same,
I.
Yeah, they're all the same.
I'd say I already wrote on mine.
Yeah,
so I
they're all
can't
the
use
same.
mine, But,
yeah.
So can I make a photocopy of yours?
This,
yeah, that's the original, we could just sign the original.
is that same thing?
Yeah, and you've got the original on side. Well, yeah.
Yeah. Technically, he does. He was the first print off, so.
You sign it and I sign
I
it.
don't care either way, don't matter,
I'll put my name.
just as long as the board member signs off.
There's two locations.
Yeah, you have up top as well, in the middle as well. Be accepted by a line.
Big bet.
I mean, you can sign both, I didn't mean I had to sign. I don't care.
That makes it official.
Yeah.
Anyway,
You're good to go now.
I don't have to sign mine, do I?
Oh, I just put my neck on the line for you.
Yeah.
No big deal.
I only get a credit card, so I'm good for 1,000.
Do you want a copy of it?
Probably ought to give that.
We do, yes.
Yeah.
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 Want to take a copy?
Yep.
Here you go.
Anything else?
Well, not right now.
Yep,
We better leave this a little bit for now, you know.
yep. I think what we'll do, we'll probably set up a time with you to talk more on the budget stuff. Once we have some time to read through all the stuff that Mark had and digest it a little bit, we can sit down and chat.
He's such a smart guy. He's a good guy. He's
Yeah.
I had to come over because I can't, you gotta be licensed to hook up to the main.
Oh, yeah,
Anybody wants to hook up.
yep,
I've had him come over and hook up before.
yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Perfect. Alrighty,
yeah. I'll
Thank-
wait for that copy and I'll be out of here, I
Yep.
guess.
thank
While
you
we're
very
at
much.
it, can I? What are your thoughts about pulling the sewer ordinance back from the lawyer until we?
It has already been reviewed and
Oh,
he
they
and I
did
have a
review it
time or are in the process of scheduling a time to have a chat about it. He emailed me this morning that he would like to set up time to chat, because he had some questions before he sent his thought folder. So. It's already been reviewed.
Seems like changes are gonna need to be made though, one way or the
Yeah,
other.
exactly.
I think so, yeah, and I think by the sounds of it-
It's getting paid already.
yeah, and I think it sounds like he's already has some questions about what was in the proposed, so. But, thank you.
So then,
But
Yeah,
I can
and
just
just
see
put it
through
on
the system.
Yep,
exactly.
Yep, no, I can tell Alex, hey,
Yeah.
can you,
Yeah,
well,
that's all.
No.
I'll probably ask him at least what he has for recommendation on it, just so I can see what he's
Well,
already
no,
done.
We're
and
just
then-
gonna, it's been reviewed, we're just
I
gonna
guess.
tell them to hold until we figure out what we're doing on.
I think what I will do is I'll ask him at least what his recommendation is so far,
Right,
that way I can see what he's already done.
Yeah.
And then we'll pull it back and.
Yeah.
Talk about revising.
Um. What's the process for getting the sewer ordinance current draft revised?
So that would be, we just have to decide what we wanna do with, recommendation on setting the rate, and then either we can do it. And direct the planning board, or the planning board can do it for us. It's probably quicker if we go ahead and do it,
I was thinking.
but. That's like I say, I can email Alex back in the morning and just say, hey, this is what we're looking at, and we're looking at changing some rate stuff around and how the sewer is funded, and see what he sends back to us, and,
Yeah, if he can just send red lines of what he's already got.
Mhm.
yep,
We,
yep, and then we can take it and go from there.
okay. Yeah,
You all set?
Sounds good,
we can flush that one down.
I think we're good for now.
Something doesn't go through pump two.
Yeah.
I was hoping I'd get out of here before that ever happened. I didn't expect that. I
Well, hey,
You know how time is though.
There's
So
something else.
now it's all mechanical, you know?
It's all good.
yeah, no, it's, unfortunately, it's cost of doing business, so.
Yeah,
Gotta do what we gotta do.
yeah, alrighty, I guess I'll get out of here then.
Okay,
Thank you much.
thanks,
Dave.
sir.
Thanks for all of that, listening to all my good news. Have a good night.
It
Thank
could be
you.
worse.
See ya.
Could be worse.
You pay attention.
No.
Alrighty, so, the next item. Current budget. So I wanted to put this on and have a chat about our current. Budget that we're our current operating budget for the fiscal year we're in now. Due to uncertainties with state and federal funding at the moment, I'm recommending to the board that we look at freezing our current budget. And any expenditures for the town to make, any department in the town that wants to make an expenditure outside of the normal heat, power, phone, outside of the normal utility bills, any additional expenses have to be approved by a selectman. Just for, at this point, due to, and I'll not be political in it, I'll just lay it out that it looks like from some people I've talked to at the state, both on education and on the Maine municipal side, nobody really has a clear answer on the people's veto question of the state budget. It looks like the people's veto right now, if they get their 65,000 signatures that are needed by, I can't remember the date in June, sometime mid-June. If they get those, essentially, the state will have no budget on July 1st. Which means there's a lot of questions around what departments at the state will be operating, what departments won't. There's some people that have said if they get their signatures and the budget essentially goes down, so there's no budget on July 1, no education payments will be coming out, no revenue sharing payments. It'll be similar to COVID when it was basically like essential programs and services, so only certain departments at the state are even going to be working. So it could mean DMV, it could mean IF&W, it could mean, our homestead exemption stuff that we get reimbursements and things for wouldn't come through. Like I say, at this point, it's all up in the air. Nobody can give an answer on what it means or what departments will work and will not work if this veto goes through. My concern is, while we do have our 3 months operating capital in surplus, we're talking more than 3 months. So if that's the case and it goes more than 3 months out, if we're say 6 months out before a new budget gets put in, what are we gonna do? Right, besides panic, I mean, we are already talking about, I've already talked to Tricia once or twice about, talking to Androscoggin Bank or a couple other banks and seeing about revenue anticipation note, similar to what we've done in the past. Way back, when we used to do a calendar year instead of fiscal year, they had done some revenue anticipation notes at time to time to cover expenses until the tax payments came in. I think while we can look at that as well, I think any money that we could potentially save the rest of this year could go towards our surplus balance or carry forward number for next year, which could help us in the event we have to go, say 3 months or 5 months or whatever, without having income that we're planning on, knowing that we're still gonna have bills that we have to pay. I just wanted to bring it up for discussion to see what anybody else's thoughts were. And like I say, ultimately, I'm not saying it's a hard freeze, I'm just saying my thought would be freezing it, having the board members approve it, that way if there were things like, we needed to buy 500 feet of fire hose, because then we won't have to buy it next year. If there's still plenty of money there in the budget, the selectmen can say, yep, go for it. But it just adds that extra layer of approval into the purchase, just to make sure that we're being fiscally responsible and make sure we have that extra buffer if we do need it. But yeah, that's open for discussion for the group. their thoughts or.
I heard you say 8 board member, and then you just said the board, so is it one board member, or you wanted all to talk about it?
That's for discussion to the group.
Okay.
Yeah, my first thought is it would be department liaison, but I am up for either discussion.
Okay, thank you.
Yep. Like I said, this was just my thought. I was bringing it up to the group for,
I don't like the idea, but I don't know if we have a choice. Is my thing. Because everything is so uncertain right now. With. Our federal doesn't appear to like us a whole lot right now, and with this thing with the. The people's veto, that could really put a monkey wrench in things.
and I'll be upfront, I by no means like this at all. I mean,
Oh, I know.
in 14 years or 13, whatever it's been that I've been involved in town politics, we've never done it. And we've done a couple soft freezes before of saying, hey, you know, can we try not to spend for a month or whatever? We've never actually said budget freeze. But that's, like I say, in no means do I like it. I'm just trying to think creatively on how we can extend our finances a little bit if we have to.
Brian, what are your thoughts on, like, bills that are gonna be coming in now? So, like, I know, I think every department has had something on the credit card. How are we gonna handle that? Because the
Yeah.
purchases have already been made.
It would be from the date we set moving
Okay.
forward.
Okay, I'm just thinking as far as doing accounts payable
Mhm.
moving forward. Okay.
Yeah, no, it would be from whatever date we set it to start moving forward, if it was gonna happen.
Yeah.
And, you know, it's something if we did decide on that we wanted to start, if we got, you know, if we get. In our next between now and our next meeting, if we magically hear, hey, so this is what will happen if this veto goes through. You know, it won't affect towns and then we could open things back up. There's nothing that says. Because we freeze it today or tomorrow or next week, that we couldn't. The budget in another week or another day. I mean, it's.
Thoughts?
Something.
Thoughts?
Seems like it's necessary.
Yeah.
It's fortunately only a couple months of uncertainty. Might not get a good answer in a few months.
Right.
but It's only a few months of uncertainty.
Mhm. And I know there are a lot of people working on it. The one person I talked to at MMA last week said, we're working on it, we're trying. Like, well, that's great, but can we get something a little sooner? But, I know there's a lot of people trying to figure out what it would mean. So, I mean, I know it's not like people are just saying, we'll wait and see. It's at least being looked at.
It's probably better to take care of it now instead of have to react to it after the fact.
Yeah.
I think it's good business, but I think either the full board should sign off on it, or the treasurer. The treasurer's got access to what's in budgets. We don't.
Mhm.
We don't.
Yeah.
The treasurer needs to play a role in, budgets. You can get right back to whoever's doing the purchase now.
Well, and I think too, whether we did, you know. Under X amount. Board can decide over X amount goes to the treasurer. Or we just say blanket runs through the treasurer. Or the full board. I'm okay either way.
For simplicity, I would go with just any
Yes.
number over zero. Again, because it's only a couple months that we're
Right.
talking about.
I
Yeah.
agree with her 100%. That's what I was thinking too.
Yeah.
I mean, just get it done. It's good business practice anyways.
Mhm.
I mean,
Like I said, I talked to Andy, I mean, Andy and I chatted for a minute last night about it, and I told him, I said, you know,
Sorry.
if it gets to, hey, we can buy X amount of culverts for X amount, and we've still got it left, if things are looking good, we can make that purchase. But,
Proactive versus reactive is always better.
Absolutely.
Well, I guess we get to send an email out.
How do you want to handle the approval process? Well, how do you want to, I'm just thinking ahead to how we will handle it. Is it when they come in, we send them out to somebody, or? Cause we don't wanna wait till we get ready to do accounts payable.
No, because it has to be done before the purchase is made. So it's not like we're,
It's a PO basically.
yeah, essentially, we're going back to, you have to have prior authorization before you can spend any money.
Okay, perfect, that makes it easy.
Outside of fuel,
Electric.
utilities,
School payment, Medicare,
that's different anyways. That's a bill we have to pay every month.
that's what I mean, yeah,
Yeah.
Medicare.
Yeah.
Are you also including DMV, same as we talked about before?
We don't have an option for DMV. Has to be
Anything
paid.
that is mandatory, we have to. pay.
Any payments we have to make,
Yeah.
have to make. We can't say no
Date
to.
and payroll
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay,
to be done.
yeah. But if it's any other AP, whether it's, I don't know, we're gonna buy a culvert or we're gonna buy a jug of oil. Well, you're not buying a jug of oil because you're gonna run it through.
I mean,
Yep.
Used PO
previous,
process, yeah.
yeah, prior purchase.
Yep.
New purchases, there was
Good question.
We used to, and I wanna go back to it.
Oh, so,
So,
I just, why don't they? I mean, that's.
I don't know
Yeah.
how it ever, I think it just kind of got drifted away from.
yeah, I would like to go back to using that. In the long run, yeah.
Most
It worked out better when we did.
POs?
Yes.
It was much better.
Yep.
We can definitely implement that.
All right, so when do we want to implement said
I think it
freeze?
has to be now.
Yeah.
Okay.
Effective tomorrow at noon after an email sent.
So I've drafted, and I can print it so you guys can look at it before we leave, but I did draft a letter. We'll just have to tweak it a little bit.
Way too many icons in that.
Oh no, there's not enough icons. Are you kidding me? I still can't find stuff.
It's because you have too many icons.
That's because I have too much crap in general. So I'll read out the main part, and like I say, we'll have to tweak a little bit of the wording. Department heads and committees, due to ongoing uncertainties regarding federal and state funding, the Board of Selectmen has voted to implement a temporary freeze on the town budget effective immediately. During this period, no departmental expenditures shall be made without prior approval from the Board of Selectmen, or liaison, which I will change that. This measure is necessary to ensure fiscal responsibility while we wait clarity on potential changes to our funding for the rest of the fiscal year and next fiscal year. Exception, salaries and regular monthly utility bills, electricity, heating, water, telephone, etc. are exempt from this policy and may continue to be paid as scheduled without additional approvals. We understand the challenges this may present and appreciate your cooperation as we navigate this period of financial uncertainty. Should you have any questions or require clarification, please contact your liaison or a Board of Selectmen member. Thank you for your continued service and commitment to the town of Canton. That's it.
So. To touch again on Sean's comment, should it be coming to us and then we send it to Trish? Or what do you think?
Whatever gets it done quicker. So I think we were going to discuss more of that
Yeah.
later, so whatever gets it done quicker. What I would suggest though is that we do weekly reports. So we know exactly where the budget is
Mhm.
through that and have it like sent out. It's every Monday or whatever you determine, and then also give it to the department heads.
Right.
So
Yeah.
everyone, all office staff, board members and department heads would have the budget.
Yeah, and certain committees that,
Yeah,
Yep, you mean like their expenditure reports, like I gave Jason tonight?
yes, but showing them their remaining budget. Yeah.
That after our later meeting, I will tweak that and we will send it out tomorrow. Like I say, and we'll revisit it at our next meeting as well, just to see where things are at and go from there.
Probably best to leave it as a reoccurring agenda item until,
I think it needs to be, yep.
Final times.
sorry, I could have said that this way.
it easier, just delete everything else.
CEO LPI applications.
We have two. I don't know if you want to look at them in executive session. I didn't photocopy and email them out just because I didn't want to send out by email social security numbers and all of the above. One would like to be considered as a second, so he can still take classes. And you and I discussed the who's and whats.
Okay. We can add,
Are you adding a third?
that's the only way to discuss them. We will add executive session number 3. And it's actually convenient, it's the same code.
One, MRSA's. 4568.
To discuss the,
Tonight anyways.
yeah, I was thinking I'd sleep in this chair tonight, what the heck?
Do you want me to hang
Roll me
on?
up and put me up the road in the morning.
Yeah. Alright. Perfect. Other business of the board.
You making an announcement?
Not yet, I was gonna do that under, board, well, yeah, I can do it now, I guess. So the town of Canton has hired a new highway person, to do. Fill the position of driver slash mechanic. Matt Dyke will be starting with us, in 2 weeks. He has given his notice, to his current employer already, and will be starting with us as soon as that notice is over. So Andy is very excited. The comment that Andy made to me today, all right, read it, so I'm saying it right. He says, should be a great addition to the department. And Andy says he's very excited, moving forward, looking forward to getting started with him. We met with him last night and, had a really good interview. He has a lot of mechanical skills, also has skills. He's driven plow truck, he's maintained plow trucks, buses, other vehicles. So he has background, in a little bit of everything. Andy's hope is we can use him to help, not only do the work we're doing now, but look at reducing some of our, repair bills in terms of doing more, the actual mechanical stuff in-house. And so I think it's a good find for us, and sounded like he was excited to start, so.
Is this contingent on a background check and drug test?
The background check has already been run and passed. Yeah, drug testing in the random pool, both where he's working currently
You don't
and
do one
ours.
before he's hired?
So we don't normally, for some reason, Andy said he actually went through a complete DOT physical, which is something new. We didn't
Our
used to
other
do
hires have
that.
been drug tested.
What's that?
Our other hires have been drug tested.
Okay.
Yeah.
And like I said, I told Andy last night, we've never done a complete DOT physical.
Not a complete
I'm not sure why that was
DOT
started,
physical, but the job at the description
Mhm.
is hiring dependent upon a past
Yeah.
drug test,
We can do that.
so.
So is he gonna go have one done?
He should have one, yes, he will have to have one done
Yeah.
before he starts.
We'll have to-
Yeah,
Yeah, no, we can do that. Like I say, he's in the random pool for where he's at, plus he would be in ours
Oh,
anyway,
yeah,
but.
but
Yeah.
CDL.
Yeah. The other thing, just because you said he has a CDL, he actually has a class A too, it's not a B, it's an A. So that was one thing that. Is also a benefit to us,
Was his starting rate discussed or?
yes. 25.50. 25.50 starting pay, after his 6-month probationary period, 26.
Sandy made?
20. That's crazy, you're gonna ask me that, I got it here, just give me a second. 27.98, I
Yeah.
think, but I'll double check.
thank you, right.
That's before the increase that we had budgeted for this year.
96 or 46.
Tell you just a second, I should get back to. I got it right here. And Andy and I talked about it quite a bit, about what he was comfortable with. What we thought we could do, current rate is $27.95.
We could potentially pull some of the fire truck work down.
Yeah.
For him to do would be another cost saving.
Well, and we talked to not just that, but talk about the sewer truck. If there were things on the sewer truck or, the sewer tractor or whatever, if we had a mechanic on site that could help do some of that, it was. He felt it was worth trying to move some stuff around and. Like I said, he said he thought it was fine on his end and. He seemed like that was the candidate he wanted to go with. We did have two other candidates. One had applied before and then one just came in yesterday, right before we did the interview, but.
I can't work on it.
Yeah, no, it sounds like, I know him back from when he worked at school years ago, but. Not like he's pretty qualified, so. Go from there, but Andy was pretty excited to get someone to move forward with and.
We could add a place that he could do inspections, he does have his inspection license, problem is we don't have any place.
What's the matter with that garage?
Well, they were gonna Andy was gonna look into it and see what it would take.
State police, they want to improve the garage.
Yeah.
Has to have certain tools is the problem.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, there was question about tools and then also if it could be done in that building because of the way the roof line comes down. If that would give room enough for the site with the lights to do whatever needs to be done. But Andy said they were gonna look into it and see what the requirements were and. Cause we had said last night, well, if it couldn't be that building, what could we do, could we utilize a bay? Here at the fire department just to do the inspection part of it or kind of trade off some things back and forth with that or.
Headlight.
Yeah. So I don't know, just, we talked about it last night when he said he did have the inspection license, like, well, that's good, that's a starting point at least, and then we can figure out. How we could make, what we would have to get or whatever to make us, so we could do our own.
Don't need much, but yeah. that is-
Yeah. Yeah, no, he seemed very willing to do whatever needed to be done, so. Any other business?
I don't have anything, you read, that's my two departments.
Office? Business?
Hey, all right. This is a reprint of a warrant that was found during the audit that just needs to be signed. It was a correction, we moved things around from one year to another.
So it was already approved on another warrant,
Yes,
but we had to move it to a different unit.
so there's that.
It's got old names in it. Is that okay?
Yes, we just need three people.
Good.
So-
name's not here.
Oh my God.
Sorry.
I don't care.
I think that's just the way. Trina
yeah.
looks at it.
Yeah, it pulled it from the year. Next week, starting on Wednesday, just a heads up, I'm on vacation. So if you send any emails, please CC Aaron, which we try to always CC each other anyways. Just for a heads up. Sign rentals, we've had a couple, but we need to determine where those funds are going. We've taken, the two we've done, we put in clerk fees for a lack of anywhere else. We put it under misrevenue,
Miscellaneous revenue,
but it still makes us.
But we
pick-
still need a line.
It still makes us pick a line.
381. Sign rentals,
Somewhere,
My name's not on there.
it doesn't matter.
that would be my thought, yeah, I would just create one for sign rentals, yeah, I know.
Do you want?
I've
me
been putting it up.
Okay.
Do you? Sorry, do you have something to state in writing or anything, what can and cannot be put on the sign and who's it? Who can?
they gave the office staff,
Yeah, we get the office.
if it's
Simple, so.
reasonable, not
Not profane,
not rude,
vulgar.
crude and socially unacceptable. And will fit within the parameters.
Yeah, I mean, so far we've had a happy birthday
and the schedule of Easter events down at the church.
Yeah.
So it's not, oh, and the spaghetti supper
Yeah.
over at the historical society,
Yeah.
it's mostly townsfolk coming
You
in.
haven't run into anything.
No.
Yeah, it hasn't come up,
Right,
and
right,
if it does come up, I'm pretty sure it's going to be one of those.
absolutely not.
I recognize it when I see it kind of things, I don't think it needs to be a written policy.
I know as far as the town report, we're waiting on to work on, to finish the warrant. Other than that, we have a lot of it completed. Except unpaid taxes, which taxes are due tomorrow, so we kind of haven't been able to pick a date for that yet. And our other concern is, have we made a determination of how or where we are printing it? That makes a determination as to what we use for a cutoff for unpaid taxes.
Why?
Because if we're printing it in-house, we can push it out a little bit further. If we're doing it out, we want to make sure everything is in there correctly formatted to,
I don't wanna do it in
I would
house.
say price shop it, but
Yeah, I don't wanna do it in house.
I think it comes down to cost.
yeah,
I realize that, but we budgeted this money last year.
but we've,
Right, but I'm
but we
saying,
spent it on the reprint. We're already over on that line.
Yeah.
Because of the way the printing went,
because that one had.
both of them came out of
So,
fiscal year 25.
to me, I would price shop it and see what we can get for estimates and then go from there. I mean,
Yep,
if we can get it done somewhere else and it's cheaper, then
are
definitely,
we looking at
but I think it's,
spiral bound or stapled like we did last year?
ultimately spiral bound is better, it's gonna last longer.
It's gonna last longer. It's
But
gonna
I think
cost
it's,
more.
right, but that's what I mean, I think we need to see a cost comparison before I can,
Okay.
I
Then
mean,
the hard
I
part
can't
is-
guess until,
Right, and we can't price shop until we know how many pages either, so.
right, but we must know an estimate of that though.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it'll be less pages than last year because we reformatted a few things and.
Right, but even if, I mean, even unpaid taxes, we could look at last year's list and see, okay, we were, I don't know, 3 pages on unpaid taxes, so we'll have to take
Mhm.
what we have plus 3 pages and go from there.
Yeah. Yeah, we're, like I said, we're also reformatting that rather than one column,
Mhm.
it's gonna be 2 columns for each page, so we're good. I mean, we're getting better at that. Okay,
Right,
so we'll do some
No,
price shopping.
I would say price shop it and see what we find, I mean. Ultimately, if we can do it, I think like anybody, we'd want it to look good, but I think it comes down to what the dollar figure is gonna be too.
So, question. Where the sewer budget is going in and the sewer unpaid's going in,
They should,
exactly.
yeah, no, they should.
So we're adding
Should be
that
just
as
like
well.
unpaid taxes.
Okay, we're not required to put sewer unpaid in there.
I know,
I think
but
we
Okay.
should though, if we're gonna put the budget in, we might as well put the unpaid bills in.
Sewer budget. How do you want us to do the sewer budget where we're not doing it in the typical warrant fashion?
it just gets put in my opinion, it just gets put in and it's
Just
not,
like
it's not an article. It's just,
Right.
yeah,
Just
But I-
like a printout.
yes.
Right, but I would like,
No,
and we need to format it differently than we have in the past, I don't want it.
yeah, I don't want a
Okay.
printout that's stuck in the book, I want it in the
Oh,
book.
yeah, I realize that.
Yeah.
But same concept. This is what we budget, this is how much we've spent, this is what's left over type of thing.
Mhm.
Well,
No.
we don't really
We
have
have-
leftover.
No, cause we have a budget. Well, I presented it at the budget meeting and you said you bumped it.
Wow, I have my recommendations to talk
Right.
about next week, but yeah.
So you're talking not what we've spent this
Yes,
year.
we need to also include what is
Okay,
currently.
we'll chat about how we wanna
Yeah.
format that.
Yeah.
And unpaid sewer.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah, no, I think it makes sense to put it in there, if we gotta
Yep.
put unpaid taxes in there, we
Yep.
might as well put unpaid sewer
And
in
it
as
might
well.
prompt a little more, oh, I'll pay this.
Yeah, we had a few responses to the letters, but. Not a lot.
Feels better than none.
Yep. Another thing is, citizen of the year.
Yeah.
So, cause that goes in the town report as well.
Yep.
So I have those here. We have.
Okay.
three.
I thought we had another week on that.
No, those were
No,
due
they're
back,
due,
those
they were
were due a
already
month
due.
ago.
Yeah, they were due at the same time budget and stuff was due.
Yeah, well, I didn't get mine done. Huh.
They were due April 11th, April.
April
It
something,
doesn't go in this year's town report.
yeah, it does.
That's not how we've done it in the past.
Yep,
We did.
Mhm. And the last couple we had.
we show who got last year's and then we do the new.
I'm gonna disagree with you guys, but that's okay, doesn't matter, move on.
That's how
I
we did
think
last
part of
year.
it was we bumped the meeting last year too.
Who chooses it?
We don't.
Board.
So-
Yeah, we have to go through that folder and look at them and decide, then we sit down and vote on who they are.
And, the last thing we, we wanna bring up is the shredding. I know we've talked a little bit about it. How do we wanna proceed? I know you guys didn't want us to shred. We've documented, followed the laws. I don't know what you want, we can bury them. I mean, that is illegal. But,
So, and I'll let everybody talk on this when they want to, but my feeling is. At first, I was okay with shredding it, and then, when we sit down and talk about it, it comes to what we've dealt with before. When we go back to look for things, if we can't find them,
Magical mystery tour.
and it's. And I know you guys have gone through them and you're following stuff, but I come back to, we have a lot of storage space. It doesn't hurt to have more things to look through, and if
but to
we
read,
can keep things that might save us down 15 years down the road. I mean, there's documents that I know existed 5, 10 years ago that nobody can lay their hands on now. So to me, it's always better to have too much than not enough. I would like to see them gone through, sorted, and put in file boxes and put away upstairs. But that's just my feeling.
I agree with you. At first, I was 100% on shredding, but the more I thought about it, I'm not comfortable shredding.
the problem with that now is because we did what we were asked. Those boxes, we've combined boxes of things that we can shred, like I said, we've got our destruction list followed by whatever code we can destroy it by. You're looking at going through them all and relabeling all those boxes, and that's gonna be a huge undertaking.
How huge was it to do what you did, though? I mean, it's not gonna be any worse than what you already did.
Oh, yes,
It'll
it
be
is,
much worse than what we've already done.
because now things are mixed.
Yeah, things were not mixed before.
If it was a box of like AP. And we took it out and mixed it with, we only had a half a box of this, we mixed it with that, we found stuff from 1970 up there.
I've got pay records for the teachers from the school from 1960, whatever, it's not. There's no value to keeping some of these things.
I disagree with that. There is value to keeping some of those things. It may not be what some people value, but it is what others would value. To me, it's no different than the project that I would like to see done on all the boxes that are upstairs currently. Is going through page by page and separating and actually filing things, because. I may be wrong on the amount of years here, but 10 years ago-ish, maybe 9, whatever it was. We had a company go in and do exactly that, and go through everything, and the boxes, whatever the box was labeled is what existed in that box.
And that's,
Two-
believe it or not, a lot
Two
of them.
clerks since, right, 2 clerks since then. I know there's boxes that I've gone through to try to help find the stuff for the school that we've been looking at for the last couple of years. And the boxes that say one thing are not what exists in that box now. Or it may be pieces of it, but it's not the whole picture, because. There's a clerk or two that may have gone upstairs and taken things out of one box, shredded it, and then combined the box with another box. So ultimately, I think it's no different with the stuff that's out here in the boxes that are in the pile that we're gonna go to be shredded. As it is upstairs, is doing a complete box by box inventory and reboxing things in the correct.
Ongoing
Files.
project when you have time.
I know it takes time. I think it's something that is. Worth putting time into just because of. I don't know, archiving, I don't know. I like having too much than not enough.
Okay, would you guys be okay with if we, as of right now, make an entire section of what we know is in those boxes without them being relabeled at this point? As long as we have the list of what's in the pile.
That's where we're at right now, right?
I have a list of what was to be shredded.
Mhm.
Actually, I've been working on putting it in the computer with the I know it means nothing, but the LG numbers of how we can destroy that. So to get them out of the office and back upstairs, are you guys okay with us moving everything that's in X filing shelving unit over and putting all of those in one space
In a to be sorted.
in a
pile.
to be sorted pile that can be worked on as we do? Does that make sense? Am I,
Meaning you make those priority over everything else that he just said he wanted every box by box to go through? I mean, I don't understand.
what we have down here, we've been through.
What do
We
you
know
think?
what's in those boxes. But rather than taking them out and reboxing them all, at this point,
Of moving the boxes.
My concern is the boxes are gonna get put in a pile and they're never gonna be gone through.
okay, well,
That's just my concern. My concern is they're gonna be moved from where they're at, taken upstairs and put on a shelf labeled to be sorted. And then the sorting process won't happen. And I know it's a pain to look at them, but when you look at them every day, it's different. Because then it's at the forefront versus, because I have to look at that box every day, I'm thinking, ah, shit, if I hurry up and if I sort that box, then I don't have to look at it anymore. But then when the box is sorted, then it can go upstairs on a shelf as, you know, box 3 has XYZ in it and it's on this shelf.
Okay.
And I know there's at least one brand new shelving unit, if not 2, out there already.
it's just frustrating because we did what we were asked and.
I understand that, and that is on us that we shot from the hip versus thinking it through fully. Would be my take on that.
I can see. And I don't know how Christine is, if you got duplicates of stuff, you don't need that,
Right.
but
The problem is a lot of things that are recreatable, if you print them. So tax bills, per se, Tricia and I had this conversation last week. So we print the tax bills every year, so we have a working copy.
Right.
Those are recreatable, but if you print them, you have to keep them.
Right.
For X amount of years.
Whatever the
So,
original state, when the original is made, that original state has to be preserved.
right, so. When you say duplicates, yes, there are some duplicates. Yes, they can be recreated that we could technically shred. But now that we've gone through it, it's a matter of trying to figure out which ones are which, so. It's a hard call because, you know, do we print the tax bills? Probably. But now you're stuck with them, type of thing. So. There's not a lot of duplicates
But
out
there's
there.
still a signature to the tax commitment, so you want that printed out and you want that stored.
Oh, the tax commitment, we don't touch those, but like to print the actual tax bills, if we didn't print them and you came in and asked for your tax bill, we can go through the computer, find your name, print that page.
Right, I know that.
But if we print all bills as duplicates, we're stuck with those for 6 years,
but is that what's in those boxes?
some of them. Yeah, it's in, we looked it
So
up,
you can't
it's,
get rid of them. That's what you just said.
we're stuck with them for 6 years, if you print them off, as he said, you're stuck with them for a while. Even though you can reproduce them.
So you can't get rid of 6 years, so
Why would
that,
you do
that
that?
shouldn't be down there, that wants to go back upstairs and
You
be
should
box.
think
The
after
stuff
the
that's
6
there
years.
The
is
stuff
stuff
that's
that's aged out.
Everything in those
It's over
boxes are
6 years.
aged out.
Yeah, all the stuff is aged out, and the aging process varies based on what the document is. So
Right.
some things you need to maintain for 10 years, some for 6,
Some
some
for
for
5,
4, yeah.
So,
I just don't understand how you guys ended up with 50 boxes here. I'm not a fan of shredding stuff, that's where I'm coming from. Because of the whole FEMA bio. Look at the shit show we went through, trying to find that stuff. And I just asked for this AvCog email, and that can't be found, so truthfully, that AvCog application should be here.
Somewhere.
Because that's 3 years old.
It was.
That's on that,
I
Yeah,
asked
we can't
them
find it.
to look for an email on AvCog and they couldn't find it, but.
It was all done at a selectmen's meeting, so it's here somewhere.
uh,
It must be with the selectmen meeting minutes from the meeting,
Because I've
because,
got to make
Right,
out
see, I
another one,
don't-
so I want the old one to go by.
yeah,
right,
Um,
it should all, like I say, it should all be here, because we did it at the table. We had to
right, and
approve
you
it.
gotta understand it, we don't know what was done, so we'll go back and look at the minutes at this point, but. you know, until we don't know where to look because. Does that make sense? We don't know, we didn't know what was done. We weren't here to,
Yeah,
Hard part is that, I mean, that's the first place to look for anything though, I mean, would be meeting minutes. Just because,
sometimes,
well, a
Yeah.
majority of the time, anything done in a meeting is captured. Or the documentation should be filed with the meeting minutes. So that,
we'll go look there, but, so, okay, we'll proceed with that then.
other business?
I have none.
Okay, approval of the warrants. AP warrant 111. 7,745.70. Number 112, 440. Excuse me, number 114, 130. 130,868.04. Payroll 105, 894.40. 106, 894.40. 107, 894.40. 108, 961.26. Number 109, 715.52. Number 110, $6,034.23. 113, 3,862.64.
Motion to approve as read.
Second,
I have a motion and a second. All those in favor of the AP and payroll warrants? Okay. Public comments. Any other comments? Okay. Any committee reports? I think we've pretty much hit them all tonight so far. Okay. Board questions or comments?
none.
All right. We have 3 executive sessions. Can I get a motion to go in 1 MRSA 405-6A for the first one?
Motion, what you said.
Second.
I have a motion and a second to go in at 7:14.
Okay.
All right. We will clear the hall and go into executive session number 1. We're gonna do these in order. First one we'll do with Tricia. And then we'll go from there. So for executive session, we'll have to ask you to leave for these.
Okay.